only person who's worked harder since the morning is me. I woke up in Bombay at 6 a.m. and came here. But I'm happy and very delighted to be here. First of all, I'd like to extend my warm welcome to Ms. Nilima Tripathi ji for chairing our jury of the second edition of the BW Legal World 30 Under 30. Thank you, Mr. Tripathi, for giving your time, your inputs, and steering every other jury member. So please give Ms. Nilima Tripathi a big round of applause. Our juries are all about the jury process and the jury members and what they feel. And you know, some of you and most of you experienced that. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to Miss. I hope you pronounce your name rightly. It's a more Bengali kind of name where Bengali names are beautiful. Miss Swarupma Chaturvedi ji, who's very eminent. And me and, Shashankji were talking the other day, and he said a person should be known by the number of, reportable judgments. And then he was telling me how many judgments. So thank you and you'll hear her soon. And again, her best is yet to come. I leave it at that. And I run a media company, so I have friends and I know who's doing well, who'll do even better. And I also know astrologers, but that's another story. But शशांक जी, अब पता लग गया कि सिनेमा हॉल अच्छा क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं. आज पता लगा मुझे बहुत दिन बाद. I'd also like to welcome some people who I met in my journey and they played an important role. Ms. Seema Jingan Aluwalia is here. Lex Counsel has been my law firm of Exchange for Media for 20 years now. I met her and her partners 25 years back. Mr. Pramod Dubey, again, is a friend, neighbor. And again, he's exactly like that, as you said. He's not commercial. I have seen him doing things for many people, including me. He's defended me I wrote a very honest article on ratings, upset a channel whose name is not even there. And, they sued me. And thank God, my article is now 3 million plus views. So I'm very happy. And thanks to Mr. Dubey, that article you can read, it's about TV ratings. Mr. Hemant Kumar, again, he was on the inaugural cover of our BW Legal World. Our BW Legal World is about the legal profession. It's about GCs. We want the BW Legal World to be the homepage of GCs. So thank you, Mr. Hemant Kumar. By the way, Shashank ji, he said similar things to you in the morning, jo cheezein aap bol rahe the. Mr. Kishan Singhania, who's come from Bombay. Again, he's been part of our juries for a long time. I also want to mention Garima because she's been the constant in the last 2.5 years of putting together. I am a person who has high energy. I have ideas. Seema knows me from the time I'm thinking of new ideas and, all the time. But it's really Garima who now leads Businessworld, Legal World. Ashima is here. I'm very happy I saw her. She was our managing editor for almost 2.5 years. Couple of months back, she moved out, but I consider her very much part of the family, and I'm very, very of the team, and very happy that she's here. Krishnan Joshi is not here. He's in Sri Lanka, but he's been part of the founding team of BW Legal. My colleague Sri Rupa, who started the legal community, but she's turned an entrepreneur. She is in Bangalore now. My colleagues at Businessworld who really work on a Sunday. All legal world events are on Sunday. So clearly, we had to pick up the most unpopular person in the business world, 300 people, it would be Garima, because she insists that all the legal events are done on a Sunday because people like you find time only on a Sunday. Every other jury member who's here, I may be able to take your name if I've forgotten. Forgive me. I just want to say that lawyers have played an important role in my life. Seema knows. One lawyer who's of my age gave me 70 lakh rupees to start my first company 22 years back. And I met Seema at another very close friend who's a lawyer who was my father-in-law's tenant. And, so on. And I won't take names for obvious reasons, Seema, you can understand. And I've also seen this profession because I have close friends who are lawyers. And I can only say, all of you are here, your families are here. And what Shashankji was very, very authentic. And that was my only brief to him, that say real things, don't come and say academic things. But again, the universal truth is universal. It won't change in 30 years. Technology would. First is, he talked of relationships. My Businessworld I acquired 9 years back. We launched Businessworld, Legal World in that. But before that, I built a community on the business of advertising, marketing media called Exchange for Media. Mr. Dubey has been part of my news broadcast awards. Seema, you know how we built that community. And I don't call it a business. I call it wo mera samudaya hai, mera parivar hai. And anybody from media who comes to me for any advice, not sure it's of any help to them, but I meet them if they need a recommendation, they need a connect. And I can say with all humility, I would know everybody who matters in media. Small, big, doesn't matter. Because I built that business from scratch. So you have, in your profession, while we all want to have that fancy car that he talked about, the big home, a good bank balance, I think it's a lot about you being valued by your community, you being available to your community, you being able to make a significant contribution for non-commercial things in your community. Money will follow. It's a byproduct. This is not bull. I would never bullshit people like you. You know why? You know why? I never bullshit bigger bullshitters. No, but that's a joke. But on a serious note, it gets too serious. Really, I think you guys are very intelligent. But relationships are what builds individuals, what builds businesses, and what builds significant, impactful initiatives. Second thing, the age of achievement is getting younger. In the morning, we had a panel on Hemanji, and very eminent GCs were on the panel. And what should be the in-house department of the future? And where will the new age firms hire from? Will they hire from law firms? And then a point came up that there is a petition currently not to distinguish between which legal college you went to or university you went to. I think education matters. I won't say it doesn't matter. But after education, what matters is how hungry you are, how much number of hours you put in. And in legal profession, genuinely, because sometimes the response times are very small, the events happen and you have to respond to them very fast. You end up putting in a lot of hours in your early years. There's no work-life balance. And more importantly, as somebody said in the morning, that Justice Iqbal Ahmed Ansari said in the morning, that when you're young, you don't have roses, you have the bed. Then you achieve a lot, you have a lot of roses, you don't have the bed. The metaphorical point that he was making is that you don't have the time to enjoy your success. So I think balance is important. Maybe I've got it after many years. I work and work and work. Last point, I think Shashankji alluded to it, is the point that it's not a legal business. Media is not just a business. It needs to be sustainable. We need to have a livelihood. But all of these are tools for social good, for larger good. Of course, a lot of you who won today have done a lot of pro bono work. We asked for that. Some want to do more pro bono work. And it's not something that is just something that a lot of young lawyers and professionals have started to do after COVID. Even pre-COVID, all of you were contributing in your own way to things that are not necessarily commercial. I think that is what sustains the legal. And if someone in your family has ever been to a hospital, my mother spent about 10 days, 2 weeks back in a hospital. And one of the cribs we have is, oh, doctors have targets. Yeah, doctors have targets in hospitals these days. So sometimes they prescribe you tests, which may or may not be needed. I am a doctor, but I have permanent head damage. I'm not a medical doctor. I have a PhD. I can only tell you, I hope the legal profession doesn't become like that. Doctors are pressed for time. They're not able to give individual attention to the patient. It's become a rote job for them, mechanical. I think legal profession, like the medical profession, is all about personal counseling. It's about understanding the nature of the patient holistically, and not just understanding that issue. And in the morning, we talked about who's a successful lawyer. It's somebody who understands business, is solution-oriented, and most importantly, works within the constraints, right? I think these are traits that will help you as you grow. I want to say that tonight's winners have been selected through a jury process. The jury chair is here. Jury members like Mr. Dubey, Mr. Bajpayee, Mr. Singhania are here. And if, I must say, during the jury process, if there were nominations in some way you were related to those nominations, either you professionally worked with them or the jury members recused them for that specific nomination. So they were not involved. I want to say that. And honestly, I don't even know the list of winners. I know 2-3 people in the list because I specifically asked, are they in, are they out? But beyond that, I don't know. Garima knows, I don't even ask. And so it's a very honest process. No jury process is perfect. Jury members are human beings. We have very little time in spite of your entries. But I think we know how to run a jury process. I think the quality of jury that we assemble and the process we run. I would prefer physical juries from the 3rd edition because there you get a time to be able to talk. So this is a very honest award. We have not solicited, and for our awards we don't get sponsorships. We run, we have a business model around it. Of course, it has to be sustainable. If it's not sustainable, you'll take shortcuts. But for the first 3 years, the awards don't make money for us. They're not even profitable, but that doesn't matter. Also, we are an editorial product. We are not just an events company. We pride on breaking a story, have an article that makes an impact. So your stories would be featured on the Businessworld Legal World site and the Businessworld site, in the Businessworld magazine and the Businessworld Legal World magazine. I just want to say that I want to end by saying that you should, I say it to everyone, I say it to myself also, that you should avoid the 3 C's. One is comparing yourself. We all compare, a little bit is okay. It's like salt in a dish. But if you can eliminate comparison, because all of you are unique, uniquely gifted. So don't compare yourself. You're unique, your journey is unique, your experiences are unique, your aspirations may be unique. Second, don't complain. I think you're blessed to be having the opportunity to work for such prestigious firms, to get education, to have families, the kind of, so don't complain. And third is criticize. I think social media is a very good outlet to vent out your opinions and point of view, but also sometimes we criticize people without knowing their backgrounds, knowing enough about them, and judging them on too little. I think if we appreciate more, I think we'll attract more. I also want to say that in my own life, I embrace the 3H. First is hard work. When I grow up, I want to be like Mr. Pramod Dubey, so I work very, very hard. Second is hope. I genuinely believe tomorrow will be better than today. I live on that. I thrive on that. I've gone to SEMA for advice, and there was a very big litigation which Lex Counsel won for us. Better than what we wanted, I think. It was the best outcome. There couldn't have been a better outcome in that. And I always stay hopeful and optimistic about what the future will be. And last is humility. Today you're being recognized as the 30 most elite people. So stay humble. At this point, our chief guest, Shri Rituraj Awasthi ji, who's the chairman of the Law Commission, doesn't really need an introduction to any audience is there. Please give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Awasthi. Mr. Awasthi, thank you for being here. We'll soon get you on stage to make your address. And before we do that, I just want to say that I wish you luck. As I said, the age of achievement is getting younger. As Shashank ji said, you have another 30 years in the profession. The life expectancy is growing. So you may end up being gainfully employed by choice, not by compulsion, for the next 40, 50 years. Who knows? So make it interesting, make it fun, be kinder, be humbler, and more importantly, pay forward. Mentor younger people, tell them what worked for you, collaborate with them, and be part of this community that is called BW Legal World. Shashank ji, for all our winners, we create a WhatsApp community so that they can be in touch with each other. So because collaboration is the fuel for future. When you collaborate, you co-create, you transform, and more importantly, it transforms you. So I wish you an evening of inspiration from each one of you. Congratulations to those who won. It's a list that's called 30 under 30. So there are a lot. Awards are a process of elimination. So there's some of your friends who may not have made it to the list. But if they are 27, 26, 25, 28, apply next year. And I'm sure You will, through your learnings of how you present, you'll make it. My last point, I want to address it to people who are watching it on the online and who have not made it to the list. I have a very close friend. He and his wife are my friend. They're industrialists, and their son applied to our 30 under 30, and I know the boy very well personally. And he should make it to any list, but he didn't. And I wrote him a long mail and said, you Sachin Tendulkar? Yeah, of course, everyone knows Sachin Tendulkar. I said, Sachin Tendulkar sometimes gets out on a duck. He doesn't score runs. So if you've not won, it's one of those days that you as Sachin Tendulkar have not been able to score runs. It's not about how you were not part of the list. It's about that day you didn't play well. So I just want to say that because we take our awards very seriously. I don't want to stay between you, our guest of honor, Ms. Chaturvedi's address, and our chief guest, Shri Rituraj Awasthi's address. Congratulations. God bless you. Keep reading BW Legal World every day and keep reading Businessworld. Subscribe to both the magazines. They'll be a small tool in your life to progress well. Knowledge is power, and it leads to insights and wisdom if you use it. Thank you. God bless you.